Madison Blackledge. I'm interviewing my grandmother. Do I have your permission to interview you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is your full name?
Betty Jo Wright Doherty.
Does your name have a special meaning?
No.
No? Okay. How did your parents choose your name?
The Betty is from my mother's sister. The Joe is from my father's brother.
Okay. How did you have any nicknames growing up?
Yes. Joe Baby.
Joe Baby. Where and when were you born?
I was born in Louisville, Mississippi, December 10th, 1946.
Did your parents ever tell you anything about the day you were born?
No.
No. No, that's sad.
No.
Um,
They had to travel a long way from Kosciuszko, Mississippi to Louisville because they were living in Kosciuszko at the time. Mississippi.
Mhm. So where did you grow up then?
Louisville.
Louisville. Okay.
Until I was 10. And then we moved to Mount Vernon, Alabama, and stayed there till I was 16. Then we moved to Malcolm, Alabama, and then on.
Good. More information, the better. I mean, it's fine. I can do it. Oh yeah, the next question was, where all places have you lived?
Oh, all right. Before marriage or after marriage?
All of them.
Oh, golly.
Malcolm,
and then Citronelle, and then California, Florida, Singapore, South Africa. Is that enough?
Keep going. I gotta have a 4-page report, Granny. Keep going.
Let's see. Louisville, Mississippi, started there, of course. And we moved from there to Mount Vernon, and from Mount Vernon to Malcolm, and I started going to Leroy High School, the same place you graduated. And all my children graduated from there, and so far, you grandchildren are doing a pretty good job too. So, got married, and we moved to St. Petersburg, Florida. Lived there a while, came back, lived in Citronelle then, while Jimmy continued his education, got a college degree, and having children. And I had James while he was still in school. And Allison was born shortly after he graduated. All right. I'll have to get the date straight, but if you need it. And then where did we go? Camden, Alabama.
Camden.
We lived there for a while while he built, he sold homes to not minor.
Was he doing that mobile home thing?
No, that's when they were building homes for these black people. That low income, I know you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily low income, but they built nice housing for them. And he worked there for a while, and ask me the next question.
Okay, that's fine. What were your parents' names?
My father's name was William Luther Wright. My mother's name was Martha Ann Height. And then she married Daddy, and she was a Height Wright.
What memories do you have of your parents? Like, what were your favorites of your parents?
Oh, that's a good question. Can I come back to that one? I don't know if I have a favorite.
What are some memories that pop up whenever you think of?
My father was a hardworking man, very clean, organized kind of person. And he worked at a sawmill as a lumber wood. They would grade it. It was like on a conveyor machine going, and he would have to mark it. And then he became a foreman, and that company was in Louisville, Mississippi. That lumber company was. And they went out of business. And that's when we moved to Mount Vernon, because they had a lumber mill, and his brother lived in Mount Vernon. So that got us over here in 1957. I was 10 years old when we moved over here. and Papa became a foreman. My daddy became a foreman for the sawmill doing the same thing. And after that, when we moved to Malcolm, he had gotten a job at Siva Geigy. Mm-hmm. It was called Geigy Chemical at that time, and he thought it was the best job he ever had and the most money. Mm-hmm. You got to remember, he had 8 kids.
Yeah. Should tell him stop.
So, anyhow, good job. All right. And that was my good one about that. Yeah. My mama was a loving, easy, laid back, good Christian woman. She had, like I said, she had 8 children, and she tried to keep us all organized. We all had our chores at the house. Chores was the word. You either wash dishes, you clean the house. We didn't cook. Mama did all the cooking, but she had set out, it's your turn to do the dishes, Joe, is what she said. So my mama was she had her hands full of 8 kids raising us. She did. So she did get a job one time working at a grocery store and loved it dearly. And then your granddaddy built the Dartmouth. Oh, yeah. And she worked there for a while and loved it. She loved getting out in the public and doing something. But by that time, we were all grown. And so she could leave. So she did.
Who was more strict? Like, which parent was more strict?
Oh, my daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. He dished out the whoopings.
How did your family earn money? Like,
just Daddy. Daddy provided, yeah.
Did you have any siblings? And then what were the names?
Okay. I had 7 siblings. Mother lost her first child. She carried the baby 9 months, but she developed a kidney poison. Yeah. So the baby lived 1 day. It was a little girl. They named her Willie Ann.
Oh, that's so
after
cute.
My daddy and Mama Willie. Anyhow, then there was Memory. You want me to name them or just?
Yeah.
Memory, Jeanette, Nora, then me, Brother Billy, and Donna, and Bobby and Doug.
Okay.
So,
then what was the relationship like with your siblings growing up?
Normal. The oldest daughter, Memory, helped raise us, tended to us, and she wasn't much. She may have been 12 or 13 when, she was born in 42. I was born in 46, so she was only 4 years older than me, and I was a child.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
So at that time, parents didn't go off and do anything much.
Yeah.
But Memory was in charge when they did leave. Yeah. And what was the question? I forgot.
I was just saying, what was the relationship like growing up?
Playing mostly.
Yeah.
We had a house built off the ground. The foundation was, and so we had an area under the house that we could walk, and we played under that house all day long. We had little wooden chips, wooden cars that we acted like was a car, and we built a dirt house, and we just played all day under the house. But we played every day. Get out of the house. Yeah. Mama's cleaning the house. Go outside and play.
Yeah.
That was about it as small children.
Yeah. And then the older y'all got, just kind of ventured off.
Yeah.
As it does.
Oh, no, we didn't venture off. Well, yeah, they did. The older ones started getting older. And
getting friends.
And got friends, right.
Yeah, happens.
Yeah, it happens. But I think we had a real good, close, all of us, the 8 of us did, except for the younger 2. They felt more like separate.
Well, they were a lot younger than y'all were.
Yeah.
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 How old?
I helped raise Doug, the youngest.
How much younger were they than y'all?
Well, I was 18 years old when Doug was born.
Good gracious.
Yes.
And then he was the youngest one?
Doug
and then how old were you when?
That's what I just said. I was 17, 18 when he was born.
And then the next older one? The one above him?
I don't know how much. I can't remember how much older Bobby is than Doug, but a few years.
So you were like 14? Something like that?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, that's a lot.
We tended to each other, fussed, fought,
Yeah.
I fought with Nora, Jeanette fought with memory. You know, and that's normal.
Yeah.
But the older you get, the older we got, the closer we got.
Yeah. What do you know, or what can you tell me about the origins of your family? Like, you know how Granddaddy's like, oh, we came from Ireland and like stuff like that. Do you know?
I don't know about my mother's father because he died a year before I was born, and so he wasn't talked about much. The only one that I do know, ever being told about, was my daddy's father. That he was Dutch.
Dutch.
Right, he was a Wright, and the woman he married, she was a hog, and she had a lot of Indian in her. I can't remember. I think she was maybe an 8 or something like that. Her mother was a half, so whatever.
So she'd be a 4th.
Yeah.
And then
and I may be getting that wrong, but she was very little and petite, a small frame woman. And they're the only two that I can answer that about.
What are some of your family traditions, or like what were they like when you were growing up?
The same ones we do. Traditions like having Easter together and having Thanksgiving.
Eating the big meal.
Yeah. We would try to go visit other relatives and didn't have a phone, so there was no warning them that we would come. We just showed up.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
And that influences your raisings also, because I did that for the longest. If I wanted to go see my sisters, I just saw Boogie, and Jimmy Darty was the one that said, you could at least call them, you know. And I thought that was rude.
And then talking about the how long has the reunion been going on?
Since 1973.
Okay, long time.
This year is our 51st get together, and we just lost our last height sibling, not siblings, but the last what? What's the word I'm trying?
Original or like?
Yeah, the original height bunch. And there was 11 of them to start with.
Good gracious.
And Uncle Larry was the last one to pass away.
Yeah. Then, okay, what are some places you have traveled / visited? Like just Singapore, like South Africa.
Yeah.
California, just like that. Yeah. What was like your favorite place?
After I got there?
Well, like what was, out of all the places you've been, what was your favorite?
South Africa.
Why?
Traveled more. Finally got accustomed to being without my family. I miss my family very much.
How long were you over there?
A year and a few months. I can't remember exactly. I know we moved back home in 2001.
That's so cool. No, I was born 2005. I was born 2005.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What were you like as a child?
Very bashful. Very shy.
I don't believe that.
I was. I didn't come out till I was 16 years old.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh my god.
I was very bashful and shy.
Okay.
Quiet.
Where did you spend most of your childhood? Where did you spend most of your childhood?
Like childhood would be Louisville, yeah.
Well, like just like where, like in your, like at your house?
Yeah.
Like at school, stay home? Like just playing at home?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your home like growing up? Like your house?
It was a very big, old, spacious house. Yeah, to me, yeah. Old traditional with a porch in the front, porch in the back.
You had a wraparound porch, kind of?
No, just front and back.
Oh, okay. What was your room like growing up?
My room. I did not have a room.
Yeah.
The girls had a room. And we probably had 2 beds in there. And we shared, I always slept with somebody all my life.
Yeah, you shared all y'all's clothes and drawers and like
chest of drawers.
Chesters, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you describe the neighborhood you grew up in, or like, did you grow up in a neighborhood? Or?
Yeah. It was like you'd call a subdivision. It was house right next to us. We had a nice sized front yard and a backyard. But I would say a football length field was between us and the next house.
It's pretty good.
It was house after that, yeah.
That's pretty good. What was your family like growing up? Like, your family life.
Like
your family life. Yeah.
Carefree. Like, it's, like I said, we were told to get outside and play. Yeah. And that's what we did.
All right.
With our neighbors, if they were children. Mm-hmm. The neighbor's dog.
Neighbor's dog?
Yeah, stayed at our house.
Y'all didn't have a dog?
No. He stayed at our house during the day, but he would go home to Mama at nighttime.
How did your family celebrate holidays? Just like how we do, just getting together.
As a child, for me, it was enough of us that we had once in a while. My parents' siblings would come and visit with us and spend Christmas with us, but that didn't happen much. I think maybe 2 or 3 times, different Christmases, they would spend it with us.
Did you have any chores or responsibilities at home? Like, you did, but like, what was the main ones you had to do?
Washing dishes.
That was the main one you had to do? Yeah. Okay. What did the typical mealtime look like at your home growing up?
We sat around the table. Mama cooked, set the table, and good meals. What I can remember, everybody ate till they were content. So biscuits, cornbread. Yep.
And then
biscuit and gravy.
What was a special treat growing up?
Candy. Yeah.
Miss Diabetic.
Yeah.
Can't have it no more. Yeah. What kind of candy was like your favorite?
We had a sucker. It was called it was a caramel on a stick. Hard.
You talking about the Crybabies or something?
No. You know the little candy sugar babies? Mm-hmm. All right. They made a sucker.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Those.
What was the name of that sucker?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about. Okay. So you didn't have pets growing up?
My daddy raised chickens. And we did have a dog once in a while, but the dogs had a tendency to chase the chicken.
Yeah.
And that didn't work.
What happened? Like, I know when you got in trouble. Like, I know you did stuff to get in trouble.
Not me.
But yeah, not you, Granny. What happened when you got in trouble as a kid?
Daddy whipped us.
Yeah.
But no. As a child, I was a quiet, shy child, so I never did anything. No. Yeah. Other than when we'd go to the grocery store, we could walk to the little grocery store. Mom bought groceries there. And I had sticky fingers. I saw penny candy. Yeah, he hid the candy behind the counter, and I would open it and I'd pick me a piece. Mom would say,
steal candy. You be stealing candy? Yeah. That is hilarious. Okay, where'd you go to school at?
Louisville.
Louisville
Elementary. Then all of them, you weren't all of them. And then Mount Vernon Elementary, Mount Vernon Outbound. Citronelle High Schools, Leroy High School. And that's all I've got. Yeah, me too.
What was it like attending school as you were growing up? Like,
when starting school, I was a mama's baby. I cried.
I can see that.
I did. My mom was gone. She snuck out, and that upset me too, And
that's hilarious.
I think that was tradition. Get them in there and sneak away.
Yeah. Well, you were preoccupied. Sneak out the door.
I wasn't. I was like this the whole time.
That is hilarious.
I was a mama's baby.
I can see you being there.
I was. My mama. I was a mama's baby all my life.
What was your favorite subject? What time, huh?
I hated school.
Me too.
I really did.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy school until I started high school at Leroy.
Oh. And then you saw Granddaddy.
No,
It was like, oh, see.
I just started it. I love the people that Leroy wasn't cliquish shit.
Oh, okay.
And so everybody welcomed me. We're glad to see a new student because most of them had gone to school together all their lives. So they very seldom had a newcomer to come in.
Yeah. What were your grades like growing up? Like, were you?
I was good students.
Good student? Mm-hmm. That's good. Smart cookie.
Now, in Louisville, they started a system that didn't work out right. They started putting the ones that were above average in their grades doing really good. And once, well, we were in the same room, but she put us in a different row. And I got reprimanded one time because I was in the smarter ones. And I didn't do my homework, so I wasn't prepared the next morning. And my teacher asked me a question, and because I didn't know the answer, and I told her, she said, "Well, you're supposed to be one of the smart ones." Oh. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your first job, and how old were you?
My first job was right out of high school. I went to work for First National Bank in Mobile, and I work in the credit department. I would answer phone calls when people were calling in for a credit reference, and we would have a file system. We looked them up, and we would tell them whether it was good or bad, things like that. So I was on the phone a lot, and then updating files. And that was my first job.
How old were you?
I was 19.
19. What are some hobbies or activities you did for fun growing up?
Well, we played ball a lot. Because there was enough kids around that we could get a ball game going.
Like baseball or softball?
Softball. Yeah. I would say that was it, the main one. Yeah.
The main one? Okay.
Learned how to play kickball at Mount Vernon with Reggie.
Oh, yeah. Kickball is a big thing. Did you participate in extracurricular activities or no?
None offered.
Oh, really? Okay. Did you have a favorite toy growing up, and what was it, if you did?
I love baby dolls.
Yeah.
I did. I was upset one year because I didn't get one for Christmas. And Mama went and got me one. After Christmas, I wanted a baby doll. I was 13 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Oh. As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
An airline stewardess.
Oh, really? It's cool. It's cool. What sorts of clothes or activities were popular when you were a teenager? Clothes and activities were popular when you were like...
All right, the mini skirts were very popular as a teenager. And the only activities that I can remember as a family that Mama would let us do, us sisters, they would have dances. And they'd meet, it would be held at a hall of some kind by the school, and we'd get to go to those. And it was a lot of fun.
How did you learn to drive, and who taught you?
Older sister mainly taught me.
So memory or?
Yeah, memory. I guess it would be mainly her and other boyfriend that's dead and gone now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we're going to go on to special memories and life lessons and legacies.
Ooh.
That's the title.
Just about to get deep.
Yeah. Are there more times in your life you remember more vividly than others? And why?
Oh.
Does that make sense?
You say it again.
Are there more times in your life you remember more vividly than others?
Yeah, and it's a proven fact, and I hate to admit it, but getting my age, which is 77.
Yeah.
You remember your younger days better.
Yeah.
Like you see me. I have trouble remembering what I did last week.
Oh, yeah.
But ask me about 15, 20 years ago, or longer than that. So, yeah. And the childhood memories, that's when you're carefree.
Yeah.
We were, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Other than wondering what we were going to have for supper that night. Just a carefree life. And just growing up, period, and having all my siblings.
Yeah. Okay. What have been the most influential experiences of your life?
I guess experiencing, and it's a sad one, experiencing the death of loved ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll make a big impact. You know that.
What big national or world events do you remember happening during your lifetime?
Neil Armstrong working,
Working.
walking on the moon, I guess, would be the top of that one.
Yeah. What are 3 biggest world events that have happened during your lifetime?
3 biggest what?
The 3 biggest events that have happened during your lifetime. Or, what would you say were the 3 biggest ones?
Events, getting married, having children.
World events.
Oh.
Like the Neil Armstrong, and then 9/11.
Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam was the first. And like you said, 9/11.
Neil Armstrong.
And we've had so many hurricanes too.
Yeah.
But the major ones, I guess, would be those world wars.
Yeah. What do you remember about the 50s? You weren't alive in the 50s, were you?
I was born in 46.
So
I was a child in the 50s.
Yeah.
My biggest, we left Louisville in 57, so I can remember those days. But just growing up and being aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
Seeing.
Do you remember, is there a big difference between, the 50s and, the 60s?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, what was the differences? If you can't remember, that's fine. Because it's asking about the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Okay.
There's lots of them.
Well, in the 50s, I guess I'd be more, the memories that come to my mind is the road that ran in front of the house was a gravel road. Mm-hmm. And there was people going by, very few cars.
Oh, really?
There was people actually driving a horse or mule with a wagon back, and we would run. The wagon had an extension sticking out on the back, and we would run and jump on it and ride on it for a while, and then we'd get off and run back to the house. But yeah, so seeing that, and a lot of walking, by everybody. We lived close to a black village, I guess. So we saw them walking up and down the tracks or on the road, and they would have a bundle on their head.
Okay. About 60s.
The 60s were my heyday.
Oh, yeah.
That's teenage.
Yeah.
I graduated in 65.
Okay.
So I became Miss Leroy in 1965. My good times were in Leroy. Yeah, so
significant. What do you remember about 60s? It's says 60s.
Yeah.
60s vibes.
Yeah.
Just
David. And that's when I met your granddaddy. Ooh. Yeah. We married in 68.
Ooh. Yeah. That's so soon.
After he done got in the Coast Guard.
Ooh. So,
yeah, he was in the Coast Guard when we got there.
Right, what about
60s were good for me.
That's good.
Fun.
What about 70s?
Married. Children. Yes.
Children.
Trying to settle. Learning that marriage takes work every day. You think you know that person until you marry them is a very real thing. because you both are getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always easy. When you make a commitment, you have to remind yourself, I committed to this, but I sure didn't want to get out of it. It does.
Care about the 80s.
The 80s have nothing that stand out for me for some reason. I don't.
It was just kind of like.
Just day to day.
Yeah.
I think we built this house in 79.
Yeah.
Your mother was born in 75. So she was.
Maybe 5.
So 75.
Okay.
So she was about 18 months old when we built this house. And so it was striving, raising your family and raising your family.
Yeah.
And it's a constant routine. And then all of a sudden, you look around and they're gone.
Yeah.
I said, hey, what happened?
Yeah. Know about the 90s.
The 90s is when we started losing family members.
Yeah.
I lost a brother in 92, my mother in 94. That's what stands out.
Yeah. So. What are a few of your fondest memories? Just like
some of my fondest?
Yeah, like what's like when somebody asks like what's a favorite memory you have of just like anything? Like what is one?
Oh. Your granddaddy was very good to me when we were dating. But his daddy was even better to me because he provided the money. We went to Mardi Gras. I'd never seen or done anything about Mardi Gras. And, of course, Jimmy Darty had to pay my way. I didn't have to. Yeah. So it was good times then. Mm-hmm. You could walk the streets of Mobile, no problems. Oh, yeah. Can't do that now. Yeah. That's just one. Favorite memory? Just a few or fondest, whatever. It don't matter. We can keep going. We still got this whole page. Oh, okay. And the rest of these. Okay. What's your favorite family tradition? I don't know, between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yeah. I don't know. They kind of. I don't know. I think maybe Thanksgiving. Why? Because all you want to do is eat. It's all about Christmas. Sometimes people are generally stressed out already. Yeah. Yeah. And that's not right. It shouldn't be like that, but we are. You're stressed out about buying something that they'll like or whatever. You know. Yeah. Do you have any special sayings or expressions? You do? Come on, crack out a few. Ooh. I know you do. I just can't think of any right now. I'll think of some. What was my mom like growing up? Oh. Oh. Your mama was my prettiest baby. Oh. She was. And she had an older sister to help me with her, even though she wanted to drown or something. Your mama was a good baby. Except all three of them couldn't tolerate the milk that babies have to drink. Yeah. Formula? Yeah, formula. That word wouldn't come to me. It would cramp them. Mm-hmm. And so they needed probably goat's milk or something like that, or soy. That's what they would, and it's an awful odor. But all three of them were like that, other than, and I didn't give it to them right because it stunk so bad. But they had a problem with the milk. What's the question again? What was my mom like growing up? What was your mama like? She was a pretty baby, and she was a good baby. She was a good kid? Yeah, she was a good kid. All the way up. Okay. She's never really, she got a little temper on her. Oh, I know. The more she grew up. I know. Yeah. I've experienced 18 years full of it. Yes.
18 years old.
And she was very upset with it. We had to leave them a couple of times to make trips, me and Jimmy, just for the day. And James was in charge of your mama. Well, that was number one mistake.
Okay, to be fair, your older two children should not be in charge of anybody. Ever. Ever.
Yeah. So we came home to a riot scene, and it wasn't good.
Yeah, your older children should not have been in charge.
No.
A goldfish. What things have changed the most in your lifetime?
What things have changed? Everything has changed.
Yeah, I know.
It changes from day to day.
I know.
You don't see it when it slowly happens, though. But it definitely happens. I hadn't got an answer for that one, baby. Things are always changing.
That's an answer. How has your personal dreams or goals changed throughout your lifetime? Like whenever you were little and you had your dreams and you got older and then changed them, and then how have they changed?
Well, you asked a minute ago, what did I want to become? I wanted to be an airline stewardess.
Was that always what it was?
From being an early teenager on to where the time came that I actually could have done it, and I backed out. Because I was a mama's baby. I did not want to leave my mama, and I wouldn't. So I didn't. And since gotten older, and not to sound corny, I've just always wanted to be a good mother, good grandmother, a good Christian woman.
Okay. Did you ever struggle with anything or have had to overcome an obstacle? Like what was like something? You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
Okay. Overcoming an obstacle. That can be so trivial.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be something simple that you mushroom. I've had to calm myself down sometimes. I try to correct everything or whatever. I think I have to do things just right.
Yeah.
I've tried to quit doing that.
Yeah.
And I said, somebody else can handle it.
Yeah. What did you do to get through difficult times in your life?
Main thing, I prayed about him.
Yeah.
For God to be with me.
Yeah.
Calm me down. Yeah.
What are some words of wisdom you can offer to my generation?
That's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Because, teenagers are younger generation. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they won't. But we went through the very
same. I think y'all wouldn't listen.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
You're
and we've been there. That old phrase I hate. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I hate that. But
it's true.
It's actually true.
Yeah.
But you can listen to me, but to heed my advice, it doesn't go necessarily in one ear and not the other, but then it does too.
Yeah.
Because you're going to do your own thing anyhow.
Yeah.
And very few people listen to somebody's advice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your words of wisdom.
Well,
just to listen.
Just always remember, you were there at one time.
Yeah.
And the majority of people were. And be understanding.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't judge.
Don't be judging.
I used to be very bad about judging people. At first, don't even have to talk to them, just look at them.
Yeah.
And say, ooh, I don't like that. Yeah.
What are things you know now that you wish you had known when you were younger? That's a good one.
I wish I had known I was going to have some beautiful granddaughters.
Yeah.
I do. I am.
Yeah.
I love my babies.
I tried their hard. Are there any special objects or keepsakes that you have held on to?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what are they and what do they mean to you?
Oh.
You don't have to show me or anything, but I know you have a bunch. I'm looking at them. But
yeah. They're special to me. I've realized when I got older, I would have been tickled to see something that I had as a child. It would tickle me.
Yeah.
But I don't have that.
Yeah.
So I've kept a lot of y'all's things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. for y'all to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not a whole bunch,
Yeah.
but a few things I've kept on to.
Yeah. So anything that you threw away that you now wish you had kept?
No.
No? Okay. Do you have any family pictures, documents, or information that you would like to share with me? Who will you pass these on to someday?
I've got all my pictures.
I've seen all your pictures.
I know, and I feel pretty sure because I've seen it happen. Children come in, my children will come in and take, I want that, I want that,
Yeah.
I want that. But I hope they use good common sense to do it as a group instead of sneaking them out,
Yeah.
unless I give them to them
Yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah.
But there are some responsibilities that some think that it's their place. Like Stacy would say, I'm the oldest. But not necessarily may be true.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for a parent to establish where things are to go.
Yeah.
Afterwards, so there won't be any confusion.
Yeah. How do you feel about getting older?
I don't like it.
Oh, what's the hardest thing about getting older? Like, what's the hardest thing?
What I really don't like is forgetting things that my kids get mad at. Mama, don't you remember? I'm sorry.
I forget things too, Granny. Don't feel bad. I think it's everybody. What's the best thing about getting older?
My grandchildren.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, all of y'all make me feel special. I'll tell you that. I do. I do not feel slighted by my grandchildren at all.
Oh.
I wish I could see you more. I wish I was right at your back door.
Oh, I know. If you won $1 million tomorrow, what would you do with the money?
Give it to y'all.
Oh.
I would.
You don't want to go to the Bahamas?
Make sure no.
You don't want to go to the beach or nothing?
No, done that. Been there, done that.
I
would love to go to Rome.
Yeah. I'll go with
Ireland.
You. Yeah.
Some places like that.
We can go. If you could have 3 wishes, what would they be? Like just anything. If you don't have any, that's fine. 'Cause I don't have any. Like currently, I'm pretty.
I wish I was well again. Didn't have this stupid diabetes.
And diabetes.
Yeah, I wish Jimmy was back to his 30s.
Yeah.
I wish he didn't have that goose egg.
Yeah. Lady took him out.
Yeah. He's still not doing well with that.
Yeah. It's getting better.
He's staying dizzy these days. And I wish all was well. Yeah. That my brother wouldn't give me fits. And he's in and out. Life can't be perfect. It's all in how you deal with it.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Mm-hmm. I'm going to adulthood. Okay. What did you do after grade school? You went to work, right? You went to work and then you got married?
Right.
Okay. Where was the first place you lived on your own, outside of your family, your parents' home?
Where did we live?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was with Jimmy. Because like I said, I went from Mama and Daddy to Jimmy. And the first time we lived together was in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay. What are some jobs you've had?
Secretarial, clerical, all office work. Okay.
What did you like or not like about them?
Being stuck indoors all day long.
Okay.
Banking was particular.
Okay.
I didn't like working at the bank.
Okay. What job did you like the most?
I worked for Snelling Personnel as a office practice specialist. They trained me. It's dealing with people and placing them on a job if the employer wants them. But it got real stressful and it caused first heart attack.
Oh my God.
Not a heart attack, a stroke. Yeah. So I had to quit.
Yeah. How did you meet your husband?
High school.
High school. When and where did you get married?
May the 31st, 1968, in Malcolm Baptist Church, Malcolm, Alabama.
Okay, what was your wedding like?
The lady, I would say, of the church, Joyce Powell, took care of all the arrangements. And actually going into the woods, picking flowers, putting the candelabras up as she did the decorating, and did a very good job. I was 18. No, I was 21. I was 21, I'm sorry. But just ignorant to the fact of what should be done. Yeah. And it was a hurry weekend because Jimmy was coming home for the weekend to get married from the Coast Guard from Memphis. So he's traveling. And then we had a weekend honeymoon, and then he went back. Ooh. So, yeah, it was thrown together real quick. Okay. But she took charge of everything, and it was beautiful.
That's good. What was your first car?
1964 white Chevrolet Impala.
Nice. Who was your first crush?
Oh, that goes way back. I love boys all
I know.
Elementary school, as a matter of fact.
Do you remember?
Yeah. Yeah. His name was John Blackwood.
Ooh.
In Louisville. Now, you got to remember, I was in the 3rd grade when we left Louisville.
Oh, yeah?
So, it was probably in the 2nd grade.
Yeah. What was the hardest thing about parenting?
Tending to a sick child.
Oh, really?
Never experienced having to take care and
yeah. And you're just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Especially
when they wouldn't shut up, they kept crying and crying. Yeah. And that was from the milk hurting their stomach. Ooh. It got me like this.
Yeah.
I was not a very good mother. Ooh. As a beginner.
Yeah.
Maybe later on in their years, but to an infant that you'd never done anything like that before. Mm-hmm. I had my mama to fall back on, but how you want to do it on your own.
Yeah. So, you gotta learn somehow, and it's
the kids suffered from it.
Yeah. So, the first one always suffers. The first one always suffers. That's just how it is. What are some of your favorite family moments or stories about your children?
About my children?
Yes. I know there's a bunch.
Yes, it is. Golly.
What's some of your favorite?
I'll start with Stacy. A good one with her. We, as a family, it was Jimmy and I, and Stacy and Allison. I don't think James was with us, but Stacy was a young teenager. She may have been 15 somewhere. And she didn't want to go with us, but we went up in the woods in Deerhead just to walk the property that Jimmy had just bought. And Stacy was unhappy with being there, but all of a sudden her mold broke, and she picked up the limb, and she said, "I'm going to catch that wascally wabbit." You don't know what
I do know what you're talking about.
Was it Elmer Fudd?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He was going to get that wascally wabbit. So that made my day better, her saying that. Now, James, he's been hard all his.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be my favorite.
Yeah. I know there's like a lot.
Yeah.
Just pick one. Just pick one, Granny.
And your mama? Your mama's just always.
You kind of mellow.
She's there. She's there.
A background character.
She observes.
Yeah.
She's
always just kind of just there.
She's the middle child, they say.
Yeah, the middle child is kind of.
She's very dependable. Yeah, she is. She's like a rock. Yeah. I can depend on Allison.
About the only one you can depend on. James will do it, but
I can depend on him to be a total butt.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. You can depend on him, but he'll complain the whole time.
Now, that probably does not answer that question. But
no, it'd be all right.
they used to throw on you at 1 minute.
It'd be all right.
And I've had them, Lord, at Stacy's
Stacy's crazy.
5, James is 53. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a lot of years.
Mama's be 49. No, she'll be 50. And
your mama was born in 75, so she'll be
49 or 50 in
in November.
Yeah.
49.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on to identity, interest, and achievements.
Okay.
Who are you most like in your family, past or present? Like, who do you think you're most like?
I always say I'm not like anybody.
That's fair.
I'm just myself.
Okay.
But now us sisters, especially Nora and Donna, we do have some traits alike.
You're nothing like Donna. You're nothing like Donna. Well, you're a lot like Nora and Net.
Yeah.
You're not. Net and Donna were more. Donna's different. Nobody's like Donna. Donna's different.
Yeah.
But you and Nora are more like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because y'all are just so sweet. Just so precious. Who were or are people you've looked up to throughout your life? Like, what person have you looked up to throughout your life?
I guess my mother would be number one. My mama was my heart.
What about? I'm sorry.
Sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
The question again.
It was like, who you looked up to your mom the most?
Yeah. Because she had a hard life.
Yeah.
And, you don't realize it until you go through it yourself.
Yeah.
The things things begin to make sense the older you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What values or beliefs are most important to you?
Honesty, for one thing, is the value. Value in what?
Beliefs.
Oh, my Christian belief is belief in God and Jesus. Try to live accordingly. Yeah, that's a bad word, but I want my Christian.
I understand what you mean. Yeah.
I want it to project.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody to ask me, "Are you a Christian?" I want them to be able to look at me and tell. But you can't.
I can.
I had a woman to ask me about 2 weeks ago, "Are you a Christian?" And it kind of offended me.
Well, now, like, I was going to say, today's world is a little bit different.
Well, she was a little older than me.
Well, today's world is different. You never know anymore.
Well, that's true.
And it's kind of like, you don't never know. You have to ask. And if you don't ask, it's rude. And then I ask, and people ask me, and
really,
people assume sometimes. I'm just like, yeah. So, I mean, it's just kind of the way the world works now. So I wouldn't take it.
But you hope you live it, that they can see it. But if you don't get out and stand for something, I guess is the best way to put it, for people to know. Can't just be mealy mouthed. And I'm mealy mouthed sometimes. I just sit back and listen.
He's okay. He's all right. How do you define a good life or a successful life?
I define it by my children and my grandchildren. I think every one of them have turned out well.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's a sign of pretty good raisins. Moral beliefs.
That's cute. How would you describe your personality? I think you're pretty goofy.
You answered that question.
I think you're pretty goofy.
Yeah. Pretty goofy?
Pretty goofy. Yeah.
I like to have fun.
Yeah.
I do. And I like to be lighthearted. I know nobody likes to be around a depressing person.
No. What things frighten or scare you? Snakes. You don't like snakes.
Oh, I hate Oh, don't get one near me.
Do you practice a religion? Yeah. Christianity. What has been your proudest personal or professional achievement?
Well, my first one was Miss Leroy High.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty good. I don't know if they still do it,
Yeah.
but the school votes on Miss Leroy. The kids do. So I thought that was good.
That's cute.
And I've got another one.
Professional or like personal? You don't have to do professional, being that.
I took an EMT course.
Okay.
And I was proud of that.
Yeah.
That was when your mama was a baby.
Okay.
She was about 4, 5 years
I'm
old.
a policy granny's about to come. If you don't mind.
Daddy ever said number one in our life.
Yeah.
All her children love mama.
Yeah.
But basically, she was a good woman, and that showed.
Yeah. How did you decide what you wanted to do with your life?
I decide.
Well, how did you decide? I'm kind of reading off of this. Well, you kind of didn't really have
Decisions were made for me.
Yeah.
A lot. And then after getting married, I was determined to raise my children. And that's what I wanted to do.
What's your favorite book or movie? And why? I hate that question.
I do too, because it changes.
And then
I used to love when I just find a book to read. I love Western books.
Okay. Cowboys.
The not cowboy necessarily, but things that happened during that period.
I like that.
The pioneer people. And then I went on to romances, and I just said, no, life ain't like that.
Yeah.
So, a fiction, all fiction. And then I got into biographies, reading people. And now I love to study my Bible. Yeah. And I think, just to knock it in the head, it goes with your age. Yeah. Really does. I know my mama went through it. I watched her just study her Bible all the time. I'm having a hard time retaining things of what I've read, because I can read it and 10 minutes later I forgot what I read.
It's okay. I think that happens to everybody. Just like start reading and then your mind goes somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's everybody. What are your current interests or hobbies?
Well, I'd love to get back into painting.
Yeah.
But my fingers lock up.
Yeah. Sewing? Yeah.
I sew.
Yeah.
I do a lot of mending. I don't make things anymore. Yeah. I don't have, other than that, I enjoy now having something to get up for, to go clean up the camp and get ready for sale. Getting up and having something to do is not always there. It's monotony. Yeah. I stay in the kitchen a lot. Yeah. And no, I don't have hobbies anymore.
Me neither. I just work. I just be working.
Yeah. You don't have time. But I got a set of golf clubs. You're welcome. You want to.
Okay, thank you. What is a typical day like for you now?
Describe my day?
Well, it was a typical day for you.
A typical day is to get up, make coffee, take care of Jimmy Darty. He plans things, and sometimes he can do what he plans to, and sometimes he can't. Yeah. So it's taking care of him, and hopefully I can get to see great children. Yeah. Children.
Try. I come a lot. I did come a lot.
Just started it.
Hey.
I'm ready for you to get to feeling better. Me too. I don't understand this hurting that you're doing. It's been 2 weeks now. You shouldn't. I don't want you to hurt anymore. I can't remember how long I did. Now, your granddaddy went through a hard time. We're recording this.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'll shut up.
Well, that concludes the interview.
You lied. Oh.